Yep,
So
could see that working.
a lot of potential here for Geek Fam. Just back on the Void Spirit as well. Maybe because we've seen Void Spirit have some pretty good success versus Dazzle being able to get on top of him. And if you're just like slightly not close enough with the AoE silence, sometimes that's long enough. Like you jump the Dazzle, someone else goes for another hero, say the Lina, and just preventing the Grave could be nice. So maybe that's something they're considering here. Of course, very comfortable is the mid laner from XERXIA.
I'm just trying to think, like, what are they actually going to want to pair? Like, I can completely understand what you're saying with the Brewmaster being paired together with the Dazzle. I think that's a really strong lane, especially, doesn't really matter as much for the Naga Siren Illusions, excuse me, early on, but what are they going to pair together with the Tusk? Because you can't really go like this super, like a Drow Ranger, for example, because, you know, you've got a Lina. Makes it very, very difficult. Um, could you go the Luna? Probably not. I think you just need someone a little bit more durable. So I think they might just still end up going Tusk Brewmaster and not caring all that much. You just max out the Ice Shards instead to be able to, keep the Naga away.
Sure. Oh, we do see for Geek Fam, it's still going to be a continuation of the supports getting banned out. Looking to try and get rid of some that really pair up nicely with the song. So, no Disruptor, no Nyx, no Jakiro. You mentioned the Enchantress before as well, just in ways to be able to take towers. But if we're looking at kind of the synergy with the song, is there anything else that stands out, or you feel like that's not really necessary with the position 5?
I don't think it's necessary. I think they've got a decent amount. You know, you've got the Aether Remnant into the Cookie, into the Mortimer's Kisses. I think that should be fine enough. I really feel like this is just a game where Naga will run away with it, even with the two counters that she's already got. If you just look to open up the map a bit for her, and I don't see these heroes currently being able to do that. So they need some kind of hero. Like Jakira would have been great, right? It fulfills both of those. Being able to use the Liquid Fire for the tower as well as Macro Pyre, Ice Path setup with the Song of the Siren. But they're not going to have that available to them. Do they go Ench? Do they go Chen? Both are viable in my eyes.
Dire team pick.
Maybe Pugna?
Alright, what's it called? Silencer. Okay.
Well, it dissuades them from going at dawn at least. So maybe it is a life stealer. I feel like this silencer is pretty good too for the laning stage. You know, it'll be a position 5 silencer most likely, and if it is going to be this Brewmaster Tusk lane, then you're just going to get bopped in the face consistently. Like, expect a level 1 Glaives of Wisdom, maybe get a little bit more into the stats, and then just right-click them away. And then if they try and come forward to contest, Naga Siren, with her strong movement speed, with her high armor, she's just going to really start to put the hurts to you. So I really feel like XERXIA have gotten out of this laning stage pretty well if they're able to avoid like a huge counter to the Doom with what GeekFam are going to pick up last.
Yeah, and it really seems like GeekFam are a lot more on the reactionary side, so stopping XERXIA with the jump in, and now the silencer can kind of cover the Void Spirit as he goes in, or the Doom with the global silence to stop the save or stop the Brew ulti from coming out. So we'll give them some additional team fight prowess.
I'm just thinking, like, do GeekFam run Lina 1, Tusk 5, and then Dazzle Brew in the offlane? Because Dazzle against Silencer is really good. Like, Silencer's slow, has no escape mechanisms, you just get the poison touch onto him. Just a Wraith King instead. Is this a Radiance game? I guess you could still just go Deso, right? Like, blink Deso and wipe these heroes out, which I wouldn't hate.
Yeah, I think he definitely needs to go, like, if he's not going to go Radiance, if they feel like they need him to address the Naga, then sure. But if he doesn't go that route, like, I think you need Blink second item to kind of make plays, right? Do you feel like there's issues for Geek Fam, or can you just get really, really greedy, play just the farm game and just wait for XERXIA to run at you?
I don't know. I don't know if you want to play the farm game against a Naga
Yeah.
and a Doom. I think you need to make something happen. So the Lina lane should go really well for Cox, and beyond then, I feel like Brewmaster Tusk won't be the greatest combination. So maybe Roger does go in that lane, but I feel like you're giving up this big window to get kills in the safe lane if you do that. So I think GeekFam have probably gotten away with like 2 out of 3 winning lanes, and they've got 2 answers to the Naga Siren. So I really feel like I like this draft. It's just a question of how hard does XERXIA win their own safe lane, because I really feel like they're set up to do that. I'm still going to favor GeekFam. I think it's probably going to be Scam going like Armlet, Blink Dagger, BKB sort of build,
Okay.
and then maybe into a Deso after that. And then, as long as you're getting the split off on Brewmaster, and as long as you get like, I could honestly see this being a game where Force goes the Aghanim Scepter, right? Just so that you always have that Dispel Magic available.
Yeah, I wonder what the build is going to be from the brew, because there's no like, is there a cookie cutter build at the moment for the Brewmaster? I really haven't been seeing the hero a whole lot.
No, there's no cookie cutter. I think you still want to get into like the urn, and it really depends. Like, do you always need is it a great game for one of the brewlings, right? And I feel like this is a great game for the wind brewling, just to be able to toss, for example, the doom up into the air, or the silencer, whatever it might be, and then use the dispel magic consistently onto those Naga Siren illusions.
We'll see how this is able to shape up. You were mentioning, though, you feel like GeekFam just have the advantage in at least 2 of the lanes here, and of course laning stage incredibly important at this stage in the Dota. So we'll see if that's going to come into fruition or not, as we got the classic 5-man smoke out of the base. This another set from
Get rid of it.
Oh, this, yeah.
We're talking about the Snapfire.
Yeah, dude, it's so cool. It's so cool.
I wish they used the snail though.
The snail. Oh, is there a snail mount? I don't remember that.
There was an awesome snail Snapfire set. The only thing that I can think of is that there were so many high quality sets in this cache that they're going to release a second one, and that's going to be the ultra rare, because it was a really, really cool set.
Oh wait, is there actually talks about them releasing a second Dietide set? Because if that's
I would assume so. Maybe they'll release like a Frostivus set,
man, with how the sets are in this one, like in this case, dude, I like you said, this is probably the best one of the best. So I haven't bought it yet, but it's just the fact that I get to see some new awesome ass sets in the game.
You should buy one. Buy one and get your 2.5 levels of the battle pass.
All right. You've convinced me.
That. I pray that you get either Snapfire or Clockwork.
Okay, Rapido. Oh, this a mean backstab. Rapido, well, he'll at least get the bounty, but this is an easy first blood for Cox to find. What a backstab from them. Tag team with the poison touch, and Lina, of course, be able to utilize that extra amplification of the physical damage. So, yeah, great first blood to find. It will be a 3 for one of the bounties, though, for XERXIA at least.
I think you're fine with that, just because, again, it's about dominating some of these lanes. And Lina, she's just going to dominate the Void Spirit. Yep. Obviously, the range going to enable that quite heavily. Yeah, he's got the Resonant Pulse to enable him to, get some of these right clicks onto the range creep in particular. Ooh. But he just needs to make sure that he's not getting right clicked down by Cox very consistently.
Cox has not had the greatest first wave. Already 2 denies, 3 denies now. He used his Dragon Slave early and didn't have it for the range creep, so... And Ken's got level 2 and look at this.
4-3.
Holy moly, Ken is bodying Cox mid.
Yeah, Ken is a great player individually. I mean, again, we saw it last game. Sure, it was on Alina himself, but it really is just one of those heroes that... one of those players, that can look to dominate the laning stage. How have you felt with him, going back to that mid role? Because he had that period on Made in Philippines when JG was being switched up. Actually, Haha is going to have to TP back. I'm calling him Haha. And there's nothing you can do to stop me.
Yeah, sure. You can call him Haha, call him Jar Jar. I don't know. I don't know where to go. We'll have to ask him if we get an interview.
How are you feeling about Ken going back to mid? Because we were seeing him on his position 1 TA, for example, where he was fantastic, and then JG would be playing a little bit more of that, active role. How have you felt with him in the mid lane? Because I remember we had an interview with him after one of their wins, and they were like, man, the reason that we made that change is because Ken just doesn't say anything the entire game. So maybe he's made that adjustment.
Well, that's a very difficult adjustment to make, though. Hopefully you've kind of had the backing of the team and they've made it a little bit easier for him to be vocal. But I've had like a small sample size, haven't had the opportunity to cast too many XERXIA games, so it seemed pretty decent at the moment. Not like nothing too crazy. No standout performances.
Yeah, his laning's always been incredibly solid though, right? Like something where you don't necessarily need to rely on the communication coming through from the rest of the team to have that mid-game impact. First 10 minutes, Ken always performs.
Dire's courier has been killed.
How are the side lane shaping up for us at the moment? You were saying kind of the safe lane was maybe the one question mark here for XERXIA. Is there any surprises we've seen so far? 11-2 from Karma compared to the 10-7 from Force?
To be honest, I probably would have expected them to be even more ahead here. I mean, like we were saying before, haha, he can just go against these two melee heroes, go the Glaives of Wisdom, and always be able to just bully them away out of the lane. So the fact that Force has been able to not have to spend an incredible amount on regen is not too great. Like, haha wants to be just completely draining them of all of their resources if he can. And right now, it's not the case. You know, all you want is levels on Force right now, right? You just need to make sure that you've got that ultimate available so that you can start to put some pressure in onto Karma.
Bottom lane. Roger. So, but find their second kill of the game here for GeekFam. Very nicely done. I think that was
similar. Sorry to interrupt. So similar to what I was saying about the Dazzle having a really solid matchup against the Silencer. If they did decide to switch things up a little bit, it's really good against the Snapfire as well. Again, a hero that doesn't have a ton of those escape mechanisms, and you just get that poison touch onto him, and you've got two choices. You can either standard fight and hope that you win, or you can run away and you actually don't run away because the poison touch is always going to like slow you down enough. And then on top of that, you've got a stun from the Wraith King. You've got a Doom who, if you decide to go down the fighting route, doesn't really do any damage. So this lane should go incredibly well for GeekFam down here. It's one of the big reasons why I was so confident in their draft.
Yeah, does look like that lane is going well. Repeater should be okay though. Like, I don't think they're going to really be able to zone him out. He's got so much armor. Boots already completed. Wraithband as well. So just going for these more kind of stat heavy items, and even you see kind of the Devour creep as well that he's gone for Repeater to kind of help put him in the lane. So I wonder if this might make Xiao Bonbon a little bit more comfortable with rotating away from bottom early.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, oh, actually, they're going to look to try and get onto Xiao Bonbon, who does have the TP available, but I don't know if he'll need to use it as Roger just trying to stack up that poison touch. Has to be careful about extending too far, though, with the 2 points in the Scatter Blast.
Oh, cookie forward. Roger doesn't have the Wraith King next to him. Roger, though, will be okay. Skem's going to finally move over. Yeah, look at the Poison touch stacking up. So Skem, he can Wraith Fire Blast down the Snapfire, knowing that Roger can just easily kill off Rapido as well. As Roger, I mean, you were questioning if maybe he goes a little bit too far, but maybe that was just a fine line there. Roger knew exactly his limits. They bait them in a little bit forward. Skem moves over, and he was able to continue the stack.
Yeah, and I'm sure Roger was saying, join me right now. I don't care if there's creeps underneath the tower. This is a kill.
Oh, nice sidestep from Cox. But the Laguna Blade dodge is even better.
Roger.
Roger's TP gives him the grave. The turn is there, but the Verify will keep Ken alive for the moment. Poison should tick him out, and that'll be the case. So in the end, will be a 1-for-1.
You know, Roger's tired of hiding in Narman's shadow. He's like, you know what? I want the MVP this time around, and well, at the moment, I would be awarding it to him. He has been by far the most impactful this game, I feel. Bonbon go for a cheeky play here. He's just going to walk between the tier 2 and tier 3 right now. Was thinking maybe he would drop down the Observer Ward and see if he could snipe him with the Scatter Blast on his way back to base, but instead, he's going to die.
And meanwhile, mid lane there, you've got the Silencer that's just gonna die as well. So one more right click. Look at that from Fine Narman. Does give me pretty deep for this, and Xiao Bonbon with the potential of the wraparound. They're able to sidestep the cookie. Cox is in a lot of trouble though. Remnant up and available for Ken, so Cox actually just gonna try and turn and get the kill onto the Snapfire. But Xiao Bonbon's able to reposition. Ken's got another round of the ultimate. A person's going to finally start to TP in, but once again, the dodge from Ken is there. It's enough, though, for Cox to be able to reposition, so they'll keep the leaner alive.
And a TPing Scam to the mid lane, though. That is not really what you want. But again, I suppose when the Lina is your main... I wouldn't even call her the main late game damage dealer.
Force, first primal split use of the game, instantly able to get rid of the Naga illusions, and what a solo kill for Force to find onto the Naga Siren. Oh, is he going to go for more, actually? Xiao Bomb Bomb. You could cyclone him up, because you do have the Tusk starting to rotate. Or Force, with 4 points in the clap, just might have the damage by himself. One more right click. Not enough. Xiao Bomb Bomb even smokes inside the base.
He's hiding from the damage.
Like, no, don't get me, please.
So much emphasis being given on to these,
the river?
these power runes. Oh, let's be careful here.
Oh! That was a lot more damage than I was expecting. Get some revenge, considering last time the Void Spirit was able to dodge the Laguna Blade.
Man, remember that patch where they just, like, reduced Laguna Blade's mana cost by 100 when he was already, like, the strongest laner? I'm like, why, though?
Yeah.
What possible need was there for this?
I don't know. I don't know at all. Is he gonna go for the... Oh, very close. Oh, the turnaround, though. Cox.
For the assist?
No. Alright, he's chilling. Bottom lane, Rapido. We'll be able to TP out as well. Then we'll put some pressure onto the tower, though.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and with the Skellies, no one can really look to address this. Maybe they're going to play for top lane instead. They are wrapping on Force's location. A nice scan, though, is going to be able to sniff this out.
Mm-hmm. That's a team that knows how, like, the big objectives are and how you want to address things. Because no one gives stuff up for free at this level of Dota. It's always some kind of trade.
Oh, they're pinging out in the tree line where they think he might be. Finally going to be able to reveal Force's location. Dazzle's attempting to connect. Force is very far away from the tier 1 tower, though, so will take a little bit too long for him to get in range to help out this Brewmaster. So finally, XERXIA will be able to catch him out in the tree line.
Big commitment to come up here, though, especially when they did use the scan for it, but they made a lot of good movements, right? Again, it was about that solid communication coming through, and you could just see how much more confident Karma feels. Like, he is like, I got to make the most out of this next, like, 5 minutes of this game, because Roger's had an amazing game so far, 3-1-3. He's got the energy booster queued up, but I really feel like he wants to get that super early Aghanim Shard, just so that Naga doesn't have the freedom to just keep those lanes pushed out.
Speaking about Roger, gonna have a fight by the power rune. Does spawn bottom, but Force wants to revenge. Ultimate at the ready. Is gonna try and get the stun off. Will be a little bit too late. But they're gonna go for Ken instead. Let's see if he can get close enough to the cliff to be able to find the dissimulate. But a beautiful timing. The synergy coming out from Force and Cox, enabling them to get the kill. Top lane though. Narman, great body blocks out of Karma. He's trying to try with the snowball to hold Xiao Bomb Bomb back, but he will be able to just land the cookie on the outskirts as Narman. Still pretty survivable on the Tusk nonetheless.
Yeah, and all the while, this is the 10-minute timing. So you got that siege creep for the mid lane, you've got Cox there, you shoved out the lane really quickly, and suddenly you open up the map. So again, this is something that XERXIA didn't do that well in game number 1. They didn't take that mid tier 1 tower for the longest time when they had this more farming intensive draft. This time around, you're up against a Naga Siren. You've got to make sure that you take that away, and that's what GeekFam's main priority was. Yeah,
and we were questioning the item build out of Skem to maybe address the Naga, and no, it's actually going to be the Radiance this game for the Wraith King. So, I mean, Skem has had an incredibly free lane, top of the net worth, 1, 0, and 2, just free farming across the map.
What they found here. Well, they get rid of the Observer Ward.
Oh, look at the smoke though from XERXIA. They're going to try and defend the jungle with the Mortimer Kisses in, but the snowball onto the neutral. Narman again should be able to get some distance away. Do they want to continue? Because Cox is going to be able to enter the team fight now as XERXIA have to be very hesitant with how far they move forward. Ken will be chilling. They're not going to try and catch up to the Void Spirit, so either side just posturing back and forth, but no one will get anything out of that small skirmish.
I think they can just afford to commit to this tier 1 tower. Maybe even have Scam look to make a TP rotation up here. I guess there is a couple of waves going into bottom tower that he's going to be feeling a little bit more responsible for nullifying, because again, you can't just give Doom a free game either. He's going to make life a whole lot more challenging if he gets into that BKB and he's just able to run in with the Tumbler's Toy, with the movement speed from the Scorched Earth, and just lay the Doom onto the Brewmaster. That's the team fight that XERXIA are looking for.
Yeah, it does look like Brew's trying to address some of that though, like in regards to the Doom and all the other abilities. Honestly, this Lotus Orb first item for Force is really going to be impactful in a game like this.
Even just the reflecting something like the net.
Lane got one more ultimate charge to play with, so we'll get some distance away. Cox was just shy, but oh, Naman's actually on point with the shards. Punch up into the air, Laguna Blade to be able to pierce through the health pool. Ken still gets it to simulate off, but the Dragon Slave from downtown means the song will not be there fast enough.
Nice attempt, but yeah, sometimes the execution just isn't quite there. He had the idea perfect in the moment as well. Look at that early Lotus Orb as well. 13 minutes coming out from Force. Just making sure that you are able to just stand there and fight. Of course, against the global silence, that's not going to be a factor anymore. Against something like the net, you can suddenly reflect that onto the real Naga Siren. Means that you can find her, burst her down really quickly. Not as big of a counter for something like the Doom, because really all Doom is looking to do is lock you down. He doesn't really care if he gets doomed himself.
T1 Tower is going to end up going down though, and you still have Scam that is just keeping this bottom tower relatively healthy. This is one of the components already completed for the Radiant. So are we going to see XERXIA shortly look to try and get onto GeekFam's side of the map? Because they haven't really been too proactive this game.
No, they haven't. And this is really why I was wanting them to go for that position 5 that's able to push a tower. You know, if they don't have... Oh, well, that's not good. Good movement there coming through from Xiao Bonbon to be able to scout that out. Something might just be a little bit lucky, although I suppose he had the Observer Ward there. But yeah, this is the big issue that I'm having, right? How do you actually go onto the enemy's side of the map if you don't have something to
bottom lane
get use out of that?
Rapido, he might be in trouble. Nama with the long snowball in. That's a big kill for them to find Rapido top of the net worth, and no one from XERXIA even is going to consider about going down to the bottom lane to try and play with the Doom, so Cox is up to a dominating streak.
Really don't want to be just stuck inside of your ancient camp though, as Karma on the Naga Siren, right? You want to be playing between the ancient camp as well as like the 2 to 3 camps next to the tier 1 tower bot if you could afford to. Also shoving out the lane, forcing a lot more defensive movements, means that the Doom has a lot more space to be able to farm as well. If that tier 1 tower doesn't go down, you just can't do that. So I feel like that's what GeekFam are looking to maintain a lot of their TPs for. They're not going to make these like frivolous TPs up to the other side of the map. They're just going to make sure that the availability of their movement is always there.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Seems like they're ready to fight though in XERXIA. You got this BKB, you got the ultimates at the ready. They do see Rapido stepping up over the river. They're going to go for Roger instead though, so they see the easier target in the Dazzle. Don't even think, yeah, doesn't want to kind of delay the kill there in the end, but that's Mortimer Kisses used, and we'll see if Radiant going to start to bring their forces now to protect the tower. You've got the split at the ready. Well, they will glyph as to hold them back for the moment.
Why not? No tier 1 tower going down, and it'll just refresh if the tower goes down anyway. And all the while, see what they do. Their push is weak, so Force as well.
Mid lane, it might get blown up. To have to use a defensive global silence just to prevent the Laguna Blade, which probably would have been enough damage with the second level in it. But now with this ultimate on cooldown, they're just going to look to invade the jungle. They've got a great ward scouting out the silencer. They even see Rapido farming, but instead, they're going to look to consider about Roche. Only 1 point in the tag team.
I think they can do it. I mean, no global, you're not really all that afraid. Karma, at least he's been able to rotate down towards bottom and put a bit more pressure onto this tower, even using the illusions to cut the wave before they reach the tier 1, so you're always going to have that consistent damage into the tier 1 tower, but yeah, I mean, this is pretty solid for Cox just to be able to pick this one up. You've got the Radiance picked up as well for Scam, gets level 12 off of the Roshan kill 2, so I can see them look to start playing a little bit more aggressively themselves.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Force See if he's able to catch out any of the members, but not the case. XERXIA will be able to back up to the higher ground. Force is still venturing forward. Runs into Ken. The rest of the team are going to funnel in. Cox with the wraparound. Ken's just going to go for the TP out, but the LSA, the Nick are timing to stop it short. Now Naaman's onto the silencer as well. 2 kills for GeekFam to find him. Well, now they can look to try and get into XERXIA's territory.
Can indeed, they can indeed. Pushing again, top side. Skellies, someone's going to have to deal with this. As soon as someone moves up towards the top lane, they're going to look to make a play down bottom. It's just like they got them on by a string, basically. And they're just going to be pulling them around the map as much as possible and then finding one of those key farming, more passive heroes in the meantime. If they don't, then they're just going to end up giving a lot of this, this map control away. Tower just being hit by 2 waves right now.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Let's see if they're going to be able to mount a defense here on XERXIA. Got the blink just completed on the Doom. Still,
just keep the pressure. The offensive glyph coming through as well.
Have we seen an ultimate from Rapido yet this game? I don't think so.
Nope.
Well, maybe now. Let's see Cox. Has the Aegis though, so not the easiest target. Rapido's going to be able to get the jump, but Naaman's in a great position to protect him. Snowball further into the middle though. This is very difficult for GeekFam to take the fight in this location of the map, as the Global Silence will net them 1 kill. But they're forced to get out though. Jar Jar caught out in the tree line. Jar Bonbon as well is in a really compromised position as Skem walks on forward. An easy pickings for them, and now Silencer's going to be chased down as well. There's no tier 2 tower that they can kind of help with the formation to maybe TP some members in, but Silencer will TP out.
Still though, multiple kills, tier 2 tower gone. He's not taking the outpost just yet on Skem. Probably should, especially while he's Bullwhip just waiting on the ground. Okay. Easy send back. Yeah, I mean, this isn't really what you want as an Argosar. I know I'm making it sound all doom and gloom when Doom and Naga are sitting 1 and 2 on net worth, but look at what Void Spirit's able to do, right? Like, he is your main damage dealer for these early parts of the game, and he's just not going to be able to do it with the amount of net worth that he's picked up so far. Yeah. You just need to enable him a little bit more. You needed to do that by giving him easier farm and let Naga take the hard stuff with the illusions.
Mid lane, they're running it down. Cox the target for the moment, the jump in. They kept the Doom onto the Brewmaster. This is a really good start of the fight for XERXIA. Can they capitalize on it though? Snowball to the north, cancels the Mortimer Kisses. They're going to be cautious though, because Doom's going to expire shortly, but the turnaround could be there as Cox just gets the BK off. He's going to try and dance down to the southern side. A Grave will buy him some time as well, as they won't be able to close the distance. The Song actually holds them short. And with the rest of XERXIA, they're able to surround him for the moment. Skem with the jump in. Do they have the damage required without the Lina though? Skem trying to right-click down the members. Inside the river though, Ken will be able to get some distance away. Rapido will be fortunate to do so as well. And Skem, he's in trouble. They're going to have to buy back on the Dazzle. Skem will be chilling now. They deal with the first slap, but they can't deal with the second. They've got a snowball over to Carmen as well. They feel strong enough to be able to bring down the Naga sign, but Carmen slips out to the right side, and XERXIA, a pretty good fight for them to take in the end.
Yeah, gets a buyback out of Roger. I suppose Xiao Bonbon did use his as well. Oh, the bigger issue for me is that you're really not ready to fight right now. No ultimates available outside of that Silencer one. And you've got this siege creep wave here, so you're going to need to pop the glyph. But if you do that, then if they continue pushing forward, which, well, the skeletons are going to stop a lot of these multi-shots as well. So good use of the abilities there by Skem. Siege creep's going to stay alive. And, well, now if you look to siege onto the high ground, you don't have that same defense.
Jar Jar? Naaman. Oh, that's an aggressive blink over the tree line. They still have the Primal Split to play with. Can they protect Naaman though? Lotus Orb's even going to be given over. The Brewmaster can't purchase off to play with the Primal Split, but they're just happy with backing off and giving over the kill to Tusk.
Pinging out Roger, really trying to find him as much as possible. It was another good Lotus Orb, but it was a really solid play coming through from Karma as well. He microed the courier so that the heart would be delivered immediately after he made that TP back towards the tier 2 tower while it was still standing. And then with the Lotus reflecting his net back to him, he just used the mirror image while it was mid-air, so didn't actually get caught inside the net. Really just good, solid individual play coming through from him there to be able to pick up a kill without losing too much.
Yeah, and we see kind of the item build for Karma is avoid the Orchid. You're probably a big reason because just the amount of silences they have, and we see Radiant they've had plenty of time to be able to address this potential item for Karma. So second item Heart, and he's going to go for a Butterfly next.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just need to make your heroes as hard to kill as possible, or rather your illusions as hard to kill as possible. Butterfly not going to necessarily do that for things like the Poison Touch, for the Dispel Magic, or the Brewmaster, but you've still got to consider that you've got someone like a Wraith King or a Lina trying to burst you down. So just try and live for as long as possible. You know you've got that turnaround potential with the Global Silence, with the Song of the Siren, with the Doom. There's plenty of tools that you've got in your kit.
I think a big winner off the back of that team fight is really Ken. He's still lowest net worth out of the cause, but only one component away from the Scepter, in fact, is just under 500 gold. So that is going to be a really big item for them. Oh, Karma? I think they scouted out the real Naga. Skem's going to have the high ground advantage as well. Karma's just going to run straight into them, but the Manta instantly tries to get the ultimate off, but will be stopped short. A beautiful attempt, but it will not be enough for the Manta dodge.
Is under attack. Radiant's courier has been killed.
Yeah, cute attempt, but you have been directly countered by two heroes that they were able to pick up. That's the downside of picking this Naga Siren early on. You know, I was a little perplexed, to be honest, with the Legion Commander being banned out. Pudge makes complete and total sense. I forget what the other Phase 2 ban was.
Radiant's top tower is under
Come on,
attack.
how good
Ember,
you memory?
maybe?
Really zooming here.
I think, yeah, it was, yeah.
And then I was like, well, it's with Alina, and I feel like it's probably pretty rare that you're going to run Alina as that position one,
Has fallen.
especially when you've got someone like Cox who loves playing Alina. But yeah, really just feels like this Naga Siren, of course, has all of the potential to work, but they've given two direct avenues already to be able to be the counters to it. That is a aggressive fortification, just wanting to keep the creep wave up. Keep the lane pressured in.
Can I get a smoke
Now,
out of
he's going
XERXIA?
for the Ags.
Karma's going to be on the front line. Nama's in a great position to be able to pop the smoke.
Dire's bottom tower
Ward gives him all the information they need to get the jump in as Rapido targets some of the Brewmaster. Will get reflected, but this is still a big opening now. Kiss is going to be laid down as they're going to try and have the follow-up damage, but they're lacking at the moment. The Naga needs to get on top, but it's Cox that's in with the LSA to turn it around. They're stun onto two, and Ken, well, he committed into the middle of the team fight. He doesn't have any ultimate to be able to disengage. Off to the other side, though, XERXIA, they do get the kill onto Skem. They're still sticking around, though. They've got this ward to scout out the Lina. Very cautious of Cox's positioning.
But again, I don't think they care all that much, right? Like, you get the kill onto Scam, sure, but at the end of the day, he's not the main carry for this team. It's the Lina. And Cox, there were just so many great small plays coming through from that one. Of course, you know, just the use of the Lotus Orb defensively, being able to get the reflection back onto the Doom, the double Hex coming through, combining together with the Light Strike Array. And even at the very end, Roger made sure to get a sidestep in so that he was the one that caught the Aether Remnant, allowing Cox to just continue to right-click and take down both of those heroes.
Oh, GeekFam can now probably look to try and set themselves up for the next Roche that's going to be spawning in 15 seconds. So we'll see if Dire can contest this. Of course, some of their ultimates are on cooldown, so if Radiant scouted out instantly, they could just easily take it with all the minus armor. Mid lane, Roger might look for the jump. Force is going to be nearby to protect him. Pipe given over. Global Silence going to be a little bit too late. Force is able to get the ultimate, cycloning the Snapfire into the air. And now this is going to set up for the reinforcements to show up as Radiant. They should be able to continue through the team fight. They're going to be able to chase down more members. Force going to get the Cyclone out. Rapido actually slips out to the northern side, so they will be a bit too late. Karma's still in the middle. LSA is going to be on the mark. The damage coming through as well. Skem jumps in with the chain control as Karma. Can he slip out away here? He's going to try and play out with the heart regen. Karma's actually will escape in the end, so XERXIA lose two of their supports. They might even lose Ken. Cox, can he get the
Down
LSA?
here.
He will be able to. They
Damn.
overlap the stuns, but the damage, and make sure they can fix that little misstep as Cox gets the killing spree. And no, this time they're going to be able to bring down the Naga and potentially even crack the high ground. Namen, a jump in, no hesitation. The Astral Step charges. They're currently on cooldown for Ken.
is under attack.
They won't dive too deep. Eyes on the prize. Over to the objectives they go. Rapido playing in. They got the Mortimer Kisses as well to try and deal with the first life. And Doom can be ready for the second life as well. Instant use of the Lotus Orb, and now Xiao Bomb deep into the middle, but all the silence. The Ken Void Spirit holding 3 members down, but it's not enough for them to get any more kills. Finally, Ken's going to consider about moving forward, but they can turn it around on GeekFam. They've got Roger nearby. A great dissimulate stump, but still the snowball pushed on forward into the Hexes out as well. But Ken somehow staying alive until the shards from downtown finally brings down the Void Spirit.
It just brawling back and forth. I mean, completely understand their desire to want to go up onto that high ground, right? You've got Song of the Siren being used, trying to catch out any TPs on the way out. Not going to land. But yeah, Naga Siren off on the sidelines. You've got Alina who's able to siege from afar. You've got 2 lives on the Wraith King, but yeah, just without that BKB, he's not able to stand and fight. He does get burst down, and what a performance again by Xiao Bonbon. He always seems to be able to just get that little bit extra out of his heroes and deal a surprising amount of damage in a lot of these engagements.
This might...
Force tarps.
Oh, nice scan. I was going to say this attempt from Roche might actually catch GeekFam off guard, but they're well aware this is occurring, and they've got the split from Force, so he's going to run into the middle. Going to be a little bit cautious about the Doom, but he gets the ultimate off just beforehand, and then with an Arcus Siren, all the damage has been dealt to secure the easy kill, and they're already snowballing on for more. One by one, the train continues as GeekFam 0 casualties, and now they'll reap the reward.
Wondering who they're even going to give this one through to. Might just be the Lina. The extra damage being dealt per fiery soul charge, I feel, is what they want to be picking up. Surely. No, they give it over to Force. They really want the...
Maybe maybe the disarm's nice for the illusions, potentially. Bottom lane, Cox. Ooh, chain control. Won't even matter. Dude, look at the damage from Cox, man. Tag team just to buff him up. Oh my.
I feel like you just give that shard to Lina, to be honest. Like, do you really need it on anyone other than him?
I guess it's only the spell damage, though. Like,
They gave him the long boy. I'm always a fan.
Oh, what? Interesting. I honestly thought that was the person who wasn't going to get it out of all of them.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Off they go.
Dire's middle towers have fallen.
Look at the buildings just getting evaporated. So much damage out of Cox and even Scam. Alright.
Walrus Steel Totem. Ogre Steel Totem. There we go. I got it right the second time.
Oh, Walrus is close enough, right?
Walrus, Ogre, same thing. One's real.
Ken. Jump in. Silence.
Ooh,
Actually preventing the
nice
stun. And they're going to back off. So attempt from GeekFam. Going to be off the mark there. Full set of barracks claimed nonetheless. And they're probably going to look to continue to control the map. They... Do you just get bottom shoved in and go high ground once again?
Radiant's top tower is under
Sure, why not? I mean, what are they... I don't think they should be hesitant about anything, right? Like, they're in such total control. They've got the Aegis. Maybe just wait for the MKB to be available because, you know, Naga still has plenty of armor, so you want to be able to find a way to rip through that really quickly. I wouldn't have hated to see, like, a Mjolnir or a Maelstrom this time around from Cox, just for a little bit of that extra magic damage coming through.
Ken? Who are they going to run into? Eyes onto Cox mid lane. Porcelina's going to be the one with the Aegis. Won't be able to get the BKB off early on with the chain control. Enabling this first kill. And they're happy with that on XERXIA.
I love the way that Force is microing his Brewlings, by the way. So he's level 18, so he's got the level 3 of the Primal Split. And he's got the Aghanim Scepter as well. Whenever he just needs to roam around, he's using the Fire Panda just because that's got the highest movement speed. That's the thing that's going to be able to cancel out things like the Blink Dagger, for example, that both the Snap and the Doom have.
Look at this, XERXIA. Aggressive smoke, moving into their own jungle. They want to try and capitalize on it. There's no Aegis advantage as Rapido. He's got the Doom with the Global Silence cover up as well. They need to try and find some kills at the start of the fight. And they should be able to bring down the Brewmaster at the moment, but there's not enough damage as Cox into the middle. But the Naga's on top of the Lina. She's going to force him packing inside the river, but it doesn't matter. Karma just can't right-click anyone. The backing isn't there. The boys don't have enough to be able to keep Karma going. As the buybacks are coming out, gotta be cautious, GeekFam, how forward you go with Skem. And we're still playing with a second life advantage, so gonna try and bring that down at the moment. The buyback, though, even out of Force, is gonna try and rejoin. He's still got the split available, so seeing the Brewmaster come back will be enough of a deterrent to send XERXIA packing.
Buybacks is a pretty big investment as well, especially considering that fight did not go well at all for them. Did you see that interaction coming through with the Lotus and the Doom?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
So the Lotus went off, then he popped BKB, then he used the Doom onto the Lotus onto the Lotus Brewmaster, thinking, I'm guessing, that it wouldn't actually go through the BKB, I'm not sure. But essentially, what got reflected was the AoE Doom, because I'm assuming Brewmaster's holding Aghanim Scepter. Because Doom doesn't have it.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm 100% that's what happened, because Rapido used it, and Naga was silenced because of the AoE Doom that Doom had on top of him that was actually silencing himself.
Yeah, I saw the AoE silence. I just thought he somehow picked up a scepter. Yeah, Lotus Orb has so many weird interactions. We'll see the smoke from GeekFam. Leading the charge is going to be Skem. Blood in the water, and they want to capitalize on this opportunity. Jar Jar is really far forward on the silencer. They might get a glimpse of Karma as well, but instead just 3 hits. Silencer goes down, and well, now they might look to swing to top. They've got the mid lane shoved in.
Again, just using that Dispel Magic to deal with the majority of these Naga illusions. You've got a Lina, high magic damage. Let's call her a carry.
Jump in, Song. Oh, cancel the Song now. Okay, a little bit awkward. They're going for the wraparound, though. Double smoke. Rapido. Yeah, who's going to be the target, though? You've got to bring down Force, and it looks like they're aware of this. Skem just running on forward, even though they don't get a glimpse of Rapido. It looks like they're potentially were able to sniff out that attempt.
Oh, how does he have some kind of aura on him? No, nothing really that would have given him away.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Maybe I overplayed it. Maybe they were just looking at back because I think the person who was dead was starting to respawn.
Maybe, but they seem to have an idea that the cliff was watered as well. Just spam pings coming out from there saying, "Hey, they've made a wraparound happen."
Radiant are scanning.
Force getting close to that level 20 as well, so all that extra Brewling health is going to do wonders for them.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure if you mentioned it so far this game, but that's another thing with the Scepter now. You've got to purge for the silence. So something I just saw with the Arcane Curse. So it's going to be really interesting with how they can play around with it.
Well, I guess like you use the Lotus on your own Panda, and then you dispel everyone else. Skem's in a little deep.
Yeah, he is indeed. Won't be able to get the blink away with the Remnant. Lotus Orb again, reflecting the Doom. Still, they might be able to target him down as Karma's going to lead into the middle with the BKB. They'll give the Grave over, so it's going to be buying enough time as Karma's now forced the Song to escape. They will still get the kill off the Scamp, but Naga might be the sacrifice. The Cookie to be able to reposition. Meanwhile, it's going to be up to Cox now as the main damage source. Rapido into the middle they go. Can they continue to cut the Lina? Finally able to get the BKB along with the Grave out the last second, but Cox, he doesn't have the lifesteal to turn this back around, so they're going to be cautious of their positioning. In fact, Narman, he wants to go in. The Long Boy holding them down. Back over to the barracks, so Xiao Bomb Bomb finds a solo kill onto the Lina, and maybe they can bring down some more members onto GeekFam as they are deep inside XERXIA's territory. Karma will actually be the cookie on forward from the illusion, but Naaman with the backstab again. The Tusk is doing it all, gets rid of the support. That's a dieback on the Snapfire, and now Naaman, he might just even go deeper onto the T4 towers. What's preventing the Tusk from killing them all? Shards is back up. A double kill for Naaman. And what can Karma do? Naaman, he'll buy a BKB. He might just TP out if required. Naaman, oh my god. Look at him.
Interrupted. Oh.
Middle tower is under attack.
I mean, you still got Roger there just waiting. He's saying, come on, use your mirror images. I don't care.
Can they kill him?
There's Poison Touch, all immediately gone. He's inside the long boy.
He's just hoping it expires fast enough. Song back up, punches there. Naaman, can he close the distance? He's going to try and run out of range, but Karma... Oh, this is awkward now. Oh, this is so awkward now. Rapido's back alive, but what can the Doom really do? Well, Karma's goddamn tanky, but Skem's alive as well. They're going to be cautious. Such a long, drawn-out fight.
This
really,
is so
that big
cloudy.
damage source is coming back on Skem, so a jump in. And this should be the death of the Naga Siren. Finally, Karma's going to go down, punched up to the heavens. And G's are going to get dropped as well as GeekFam. They will continue on with a lot of momentum here, and Karma's just out of there.
Radiant victory.
Yeah, understandably. I mean, this is not the style of game that a Naga Siren wants, right? Naga doesn't need a lot to be able to really take over that map, but that tier 1 tower has got to go, and it just took way too long to do it. It's really why I was hoping for them to go for some kind of position 5, because they hadn't addressed any kind of pushing power with the other heroes in their draft. Like, you leave Naga and Doom, and we saw they were at the top of the net worth, but they should have been so much further ahead. They should have had a lot more map control with all of that. And not only does Silencer not provide that pushing power, it also means that you can't really de-push either. So GeekFam were ones that actually had a lot of the map control all throughout this game, and I mean they played pretty damn flawlessly. Again, it's got to be the supports that really take the chocolates for mine as being the MVPs. Roger as well as Naaman. Shout outs to Force as well. I think he was really on point with his purchase of the Lotus Orb into the Aghanim Scepter. Every single Lotus Orb was on point as well to be able to get that solid reflection through with the Doom. It's just cool, you know?
I do know indeed. It is cool to see how GeekFam are playing incredibly well with this newly formed roster, and I also concur with the point on the supports. Both Roger and Naaman were really big reasons on why their previous team were able to look incredibly dominant in RSG and Army Geniuses when they were having those incredible games. So good to see the chemistry is already starting to really show from GeekFam, as they are now going to jump up to 10-2. So they will tie Army Geniuses at the top of the table. But ladies and gentlemen, this is just our first series of the night. We've got many more to come. Next up, it's going to be Unity Gaming up against Purple Paradox. We'll see you all.
I've been waiting to see Purple Paradox. They're so polarizing, right? Polarizing Purple Paradox. They 2-0 some teams like Fnatic, and then they get absolutely binned by some people afterwards. So I'm keen to see what they're able to do.
Yeah, we'll see what we have in store for them, because, like you said, that they've looked good, and then some games they've looked shaky, and then for Unity Gaming as well, this is another team who need to get some wins under their belt. So our second series is going to be a very exciting one. We'll see which way it's going to go. Will it be Unity or will it be Purple Paradox taking it? We'll find out after the break.